Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Amit from Magnet, and today we are going to recreate this scene. So first take a look what we are going to create. So in order to recreate this scene, we need some elements. So in here I am using Video Copilot Futuristic Building Model Pack to create those futuristic buildings. And this character I downloaded from MIXAMO. And if you want to know how to download models from MIXAMO and import the OBJ sequence in Element 3D, you have to check my tutorial on that. And I will give you the link in the description. And some stock element that I use from Action Essential packs from Video Copilot as well, and the lens texture that I use from optical flares. So let's do this. First create a new composition. So change the resolution to 1920 by 800 and the frame rate is looking good and the duration maybe 10 seconds and hit OK. And now we create a new solid to apply the element effect. To name this to element and hit OK. So now go to the effects and presets panel and select element, so that the element effect apply on our layer, and go to the scene setup. So first we create the basic building models here. So I am using Video Copilot Futuristic Building Pack, and let's see what we're going to use here. So first we use that building, that is the futuristic building number 7, and we tweak some settings here. So select the scale tool here and increase its size like this. Okay, and maybe we change the texture for that. So for that I'm using the Pro Shader collections from Video Copilot, and go to the metal and let's choose something from that, and that look nice, and also apply it to there. Okay, so first we go to the model here and choose its UV mapping and repeat the UV map size to maybe 20 by 20. Okay, so let's go over here and choose another building. So maybe we that one, that is the futurist tower number 2, and we also scale that up like this. Maybe we enable the environment so we can visualize properly. Okay, and then we use another one, that is that radio tower. Okay, and we also scale that up like this. Okay, so that is the basic structure of our futuristic buildings. So now we go to the After Effects again, so hit OK. So first we create a camera for that. So go to the layer, new, and not light. We need light but not now. Just first we create the camera. Okay, and maybe we create a null object to control the camera. So first we change this null object to 3D, and maybe we name that to cam control, and we link the camera to that null object. But go to the element layer again. Now we replicate this model to multiple times. So go to the group number 1, because our model is placed in group number 1, and go to the particle replicator, and now select, instead of point, select the 3D grid. Okay, but we don't want the Y replication, but we only need the X replicator to be number 2, and we need lots of Z axis replication. So increase the count like this. So now we scale them up by X axis little bit here, and the Z axis only. Okay, and now we scattered them up little bit to make some randomization. So go to the shape option here and go to the replicator effect, and there is the scatter, but we not only not scatter it randomly, but only we scatter them in x axis little bit and as well as the z axis, and also we increase the x scale shape little bit more. Okay, and now we position our camera here like this. Okay, so go back to the element layer again, and there is a option called rotation. So now we rotate them like this. Okay, and maybe we change the z position like this, and also position in that position. Okay, and also we increase the z scale and as well as increase the x scale like this. So now go to the element scene setup again. So now create a ground plane as well. So create a ground plane, but we drag out this plane from the group number 1 and place it to group number 5 and increase the size as well. So maybe 10,000 looks nice, and also apply the same texture. So go to the scene material here and just apply that texture here, and also repeat its UV map size, so maybe 20 by 20. Okay, and now we go to the group number 1 and just place this like this. Okay, so maybe we place our camera here. So that is our first basic scene, but we need lots of settings to change here. So again go to the scene setup and go to the group number 1, and we want this model to another group. So just click in here and press shift and click on group number 2 as well. So that model is assigned to group number 1 and 2. So hit OK again, and in the group number 2 we change also the replicator shape size to point to plane. Okay, and we place this to very far away and increase the count. Okay, whatever you want, whatever your machine can handle. So and now then we increase the scale shape as well, and also randomize some settings here. So go to the scatter again and scatter them up like this. Okay, and also go to the particle look and increase the size and also increase the size randomness to about 40 and also increase the size again. And now we did some more randomization. To go to the particle rotation, and there is a randomized angle, and only change the y rotation like this, not the x rotation, because if you do that, that will looks weird. So don't, only change the y axis like this. Okay, and now we need those model also create that kind of angle. So we need the same settings for that. So go to the group number 1 again and just copy the value of the z rotation for the foreground models, and again go to the group number 2 and go to the rotation and paste the same value. Okay, like this. And we also increase the size of the far models here. So maybe increase the size like this, and also increase the randomization. Okay, and now we also place them in bottom and also increase the size little bit more. Okay, so that is the basic structure. And again go to the scene setup. We need some crystal structure here. So in order to do this, we go to the motion design 2 collection, and there are some, so there is some models called crystal clusters, and select something like that one, and place this to group number 3. So hit OK, and again we use some replicator effect on that. So we want this crystal to in the bottom of the foreground buildings only. So what one thing we can do, that we just copy the settings, and paste it to group number 3, so it will save some time here. Okay, like this. So, and we don't want the rotation for the crystals here, so go to the rotation and just reset this setting. Okay, and also we append their position like this, and also we place them here like this. Okay, so our basic structure is ready. So now we do some additional structures as well, but before that we also put our model here, that is that man walking obj sequence. So let's see where the obj sequence is. So here, so that is the man walking obj sequence. So we place this model to group number 4 because all the groups are engaged with some models, so we use the group number 4 and hit OK. So maybe we go to the scene setup again because our model is too small here. So there is an option called Normalize Size. Okay, so now hit OK. But now our model is too big to handle, so go to the group number 4 again and create a null object for our model. So now we can control this. So first we decrease its scale like this. Okay, and also rotate it to 180 degree at y-axis. Okay, so now we place our camera. So we go to the our camera control null object here, and now we zoom it and place it, and also close to our model here, and now we rotate our camera a little bit the upward, so like this, and also we down the camera, and again we also rotate it a little bit. Okay, so first we animate our model, but we also when we animate our model to forward, and we also need to animate the camera to follow the model. So there is a simple solution to decrease our workload. So that is, if we just link our camera to the model null object like this, and now if we just animate the model position, press P in the keyboard and create a keyframe here, and if we go to about 10 seconds, and if we just animate this, and now you will see the animation look like this because our camera also link the camera control, and the camera control link with the model null object, and when we move that null object, so our camera also move with that. So that is so handy to create a camera movement which is stick with your moving object, so that will be easy to create. Okay, so it is look like this now. Okay, so let's do some changes to the models, I mean these futuristic buildings. So again, go to the scene setup. So go to the group number 1 and 2, and now we change some settings here. Maybe we do some randomization to our buildings. So maybe we just duplicate this and maybe scale it down like this, and maybe duplicate it one more time, and then also maybe increase the size, and also if we want we can rotate this like this, and also select that one and also rotate it whatever you want. Just make a little randomization and duplicate it one more time again, and also scale them up little bit and also rotate it like this. Okay, so maybe we also scale it down and also select that one, maybe we scale it down a little bit more. Okay, so now we need some object that can fly in the air. So for that, maybe we select that radio tower and duplicate that. Just press Alt and drag it upward, and maybe we want this to get the upside down, and then we scale it down like this, and also we duplicate it couple more time, and maybe increase the scale little bit, and also here and also here, maybe duplicate it one more time and scale it little bit more. So now if we hit OK, you will see a big changes happen in our entire scene. So hit OK. So that is our scene look like now. And now if we create a background solid and apply a gradient effect on that, so go to the effects and go to the generate gradient ramp, and now we choose the bottom color to maybe like this, and the sky color maybe like this, and change the ramp shape to radial. Okay, so now again go to the element layer and go to the render setting. So before we go to the render setting, we create a light for our scene. So create a light and we use the parallel light, and everything look nice, and hit OK and press P on the keyboard and bring the position value of the light and place the light. So maybe the light will be here. Okay, and again go to the element effect, maybe we change the environment for our scene. So for that we go to the presets, and there is an environment, and we use the backlight environment from Video Copilot and choose the 2K version of that, and maybe we use that one maybe. Okay, and hit OK. Okay, so now we use the shadow because we have our light, so we can use shadows here. So check that, and maybe we increase the map size and increase the parallel light settings. Okay, and also we use the ambient occlusion for that and increase the intensity little bit. Okay, and also we go to the physical environment and we increase the light influence. Okay, and then we go to the fog settings and choose that color and enable the fog. Okay, and maybe we increase the fog opacity and increase the start distance like this. Okay, so now we need some illuminating light in our in those tower. So to create this, go to the scene setup again and maybe we select that tower, and now we create some box that will be our light. Okay, so create that box and we decrease the scale size and place it here, and maybe we decrease the scale little bit more. Okay, and select that box and go to its material setup, go to illumination and increase the intensity to about maybe 200. Okay, and then we duplicate it and maybe we do some randomization here. So if we just increase its y-axis value and it will create a rectangle shape. So now duplicate it again and maybe we make it some horizontal shape like this and also place it here like this, and again we will duplicate that by pressing Alt and drag it, and maybe we again scale it differently. Okay, so now we can change its position like this. Maybe some lights from the behind, and also we do some randomization here. Okay, so maybe we can place some lights to our small towers as well. So select that tower and select that light we just create and place it wherever you want like this. Okay, so again that is all depends upon you how you want your light to be. So there is no boundaries to create that you just want your light here or there. It is all depends on you where you want your lights. Okay, so let's place some lights to the small towers as well like this. Also scale them up. Okay, so that is looks good for now. So now hit OK. So we got our lights as well. So that is our basic scene. And yes, we also use some atmospheric effects. So we need some stock element to create some smoke here. So for that I am using that smoke elements. and this is from video copilot as well, as that is from action essential pack, and that smoke elements. Okay, so just use them. So in order to use this, just drag this to our composition, and first we create this 3D. So now we press A on the keyboard because we have a additional light in our scene, so our also this stock footage also interact with the light, so we don't want that. So just disable this option except light. Okay, so now we place our stock element to a specific position. So in order to create, we need the 3D position, so we want our elements to be there. So go to the element effect again, and now we create a null object to identify the exact position here. So just click on that and create generate. So it will create a null object that holds the position of that 3D position. Okay, but our atmosphere is here, so maybe we scale it up for now. Okay, so if we just place it here, maybe there is the smoke, and if we rotate it like this, maybe our smoke element is way too big, so decrease its size. And we also relocate that anchor point, so go to the pen behind tool and just click on that and drag it to the very bottom here like this, and go to the atmosphere, and now we place it to that exact position. So select the null object that we just create and press P on the keyboard and just copy the position value and paste it to the atmospheric stock element position value here like this. And now we can also make a little bit down here, and we don't want the null object anymore, so just delete that. Okay, and maybe we increase the size like this. Okay, so now we want our atmosphere, it will create a rough edge here, so we just mask it out. So create a rectangle mask, and now we decrease the mask expansion and increase the feather like this. Okay, so the edge of that layer will be not so much rough. So now place it here. Okay, so in order to place this smoke behind the foreground model tower here, so we duplicate our element layer and place it in the up of that atmosphere, and go to the element layer and go to its output, and instead of we use the composite, we use world position. Okay, so change the wall position value. Okay, like this, and we track mat this alpha channel with our atmosphere. So toggle the switch to bring that options here, and select these two luma mat inverted, because our luma mats is those white portion is the luminance, and we don't want to follow those, so we just select luma mat inverted. So now our smoke atmosphere is behind these towers. Okay, so if you want, you can also use lots of other smoke elements to place in different position here. Okay, So now we do some color correction that is very important for this scene to look good. So first we create a new adjustment layer. So create a new adjustment layer and go to the effects and go to the color correction, and first we use the tint effect, and again we go to the color correction and use the curve. So decrease the tint amount here and go to the red channel here, we decrease that, and go to the blue channel here, we increase that, and also go to the green channel, we do the settings like this. Okay, and now we go to the layer and create another adjustment layer, and in this layer I am using a third-party color correction tool, that is the magic bullet look. So that is from Red Giant, and that is a very good tool for color correction. So apply that and go to the edit, and then select something like this maybe. Okay, and maybe we decrease the shadow light here. Okay, maybe we increase that and hit OK. So this is look like this now, and maybe we use some noise here. So go to the edit option again, and maybe we use some renoiser here, and if we choose some presets here, maybe something like this, and hit OK. So again we go to create a new adjustment layer, and in that adjustment layer we're going to use some glow effect. So instead of using the After Effects inbuilt glow effect, we're using the Red Giant VFX effects. There is the glow effect called optical glow. Just select that, and we decrease the intensity, and here we find a option called highlights only. So just increase that, so it will only glow the highlights areas only. And now we go to the color. So first we colorize this thing to maybe red like this, and go to the inner tint, we maybe use some blue haze like this, and the outer tint we maybe use the same color. Okay, so now if we increase the glow amount, it will glow only the highlighted areas, and if we increase the size, it will look like this. Okay, so maybe we but we don't want this side to affect the glow, so maybe we can create a random mask to just, we don't want this portion to be affected with the glow. So select that adjustment layer and press M to bring the mask properties, and instead of using add we use subtract. Okay, and maybe we feather the mask a little bit like this. Okay, so maybe we change some settings as well. So that is done. So we can also use some camera distortion, need some camera distortion here. So again we create a new adjustment layer here, and for that I am using the universe distort, that is the universe chromatic aberration. So just select that, and we don't want that much of camera distortion here, so go to its blur, maybe we go to the lens texture and decrease the texture amount, and go to the flatten effect. We increase that, and we don't want that much of, so we decrease the master scale, and also we decrease the master distortion. Okay, and again we increase the blur radius and also the mask radius again, and decrease the okay, decrease the all distortion here to maybe 10 as well, and go to the edge follow, we increase that, maybe we decrease that like this. Okay, so maybe we change the contrast of the whole scene, so maybe we make it little contrast here like this. So now that is look nice, I guess. And now if we use some lens texture here, so I am using that image that is comes with the video copilot optical flare, and if we just make it maybe add and create a mask in that position. Okay, and maybe feather the mask. Okay, and maybe we decrease its opacity like this, and now we use some blur effect on that. So go to the blur and sharpness, and we using the camera lens blur, and we use the pentagon lens and increase the blur radius. Okay, so this is look like this. So maybe we go to the look settings here, that is the color correction tool, and maybe we go to the colorista and we decrease the highlights, and he save that. So that is the trick to create that futuristic looking scene. So we can also change some settings to our models. So again go to the element effect, but make sure that any changes you made in your element effect, you have to copy the settings to that matte layer also, because our smoke followed that matte layer. So go to the element layer again and select the scene setup, and maybe we duplicate that whole group of tower here, and maybe we increase or maybe we decrease the scale, maybe we just make multiple copies of that. So now if you hit OK, you will see the more of the buildings here. So again go to the scene setup, maybe we just decrease the scale so it will look nice. And as well as also we change the light positions like this. Maybe we, so it all depends on you how you want your scene will be. Okay, maybe we to that tower. Let's make it little random and now hit OK. So any change you made, it will affect in your entire scene. So maybe we don't want that. So that is look nice, and if you want some build towers in your that side, you can also do that. But and also we can go to our background layer and maybe darken that side like this, and okay. So that is the trick. So this is for today, and I hope this tutorial helps you out to create that kind of futuristic looking scene. So I hope you like this, and if you like this, please check my other videos, and if you like those videos, please subscribe this channel, and we will see in the next video. So till then, take care and bye bye.